Hello, my name is Amanda Kocher, and this is my portfolio presentation. I live in Tecumseh, Kansas, which is a suburb of Topeka, and I teach in Rossville, which is on the other side, however, is a small town very close to Topeka. I am licensed 6 through 12 life science, however, I only teach 9 through 12. I am in my 5th year of teaching and currently teach at Rossville Junior-Senior High School. I have taught many courses in my 5 years, but biology has been a constant for all 5 years. While I worked at Topeka High, which I did for the first 3 years of my career, I taught zoology, honors biology, and general biology. In my time at Rossville, I have been teaching biology, college biology, and anatomy and physiology. And currently, I am the 9 through 12 life science teacher for the high school half. And I am one of 2 high school science teachers in my building. I am one of 4 high school science teachers in my district. And in addition to teaching, I also coach high school girls basketball and volleyball. The area I have chosen to discuss about my portfolio is the skills category, and it aligns with Standards 1.1. It is the foundation for all other standards, in my opinion, and so I have chosen to look at this specifically because I feel like it is vital to the success of my other areas of this program. The artifacts that I chose for this area are the Philosophy of Curriculum paper, which was the final paper for CNT 709. I have chosen the group presentation on complex instruction from CNT 803. And I've also chosen my Module 2 review of literature on school improvement and reform from CNT 801. So the first artifact, the Philosophy of Curriculum paper, was the final paper for Foundations in Curriculum and Instruction. In this paper, I compared theories of Ralph Tyler and Jerome Bruner, and also gave my overall philosophy of curriculum. What I have found in rereading this paper is that my philosophy aligns closely to that of John Dewey. I believe students should be actively engaged with their community, doing real life things, not just looking at what goes on in theory and science. This was a drastic change from the ideas that I had upon entering this program, where my ideas of curriculum were very closely aligned with Ralph Tyler in that we had a set of objectives that were set to be taught, and it was our job to teach them and the student's job to learn them. And so now that I have had a year and a half, I have had my mini classes on curriculum, on multicultural education, I have probably strengthened more the ideas that I have that align with John Dewey. My philosophy on curriculum is that it should be ever-changing. It should change with the society and the students that it is striving to meet. We want our students to be successful, and as society changes and as they change, our curriculum must move with them. The students that I have in my classroom today are different than those from when I first started, and even more different from when I was a senior in high school less than 10 years ago. The curriculum must fit the students that are engaged with it so that their needs can be met and their achievement can be measured effectively. The quote on the left is one that I remind myself of daily. There are different ways of being smart. Every kid comes to us with strengths, and we must learn to build on those as teachers, as administrators, as schools, as districts, and as society. The second artifact that I chose to include for this area was the complex instruction presentation that I did as a group project for CNT 803. I chose to include this presentation because it applied directly to my classroom. Complex instruction was a new strategy to me at the time. I was familiar with cooperative learning, but not quite familiar with how to use my students' strengths to really equalize the learning opportunities that I was giving in my classroom. For this presentation, each of our group members developed a project or plan for our specific discipline. As mine is science, I chose to use a diversity of life project that I had used in the past and apply the complex instruction format to it. I use it in 9th grade biology, and it is generally one of the final projects that I give in the spring semester. Though my students always worked in groups, it is a large project, it is time-consuming, and it does require deep thought. However, there are many components to this project that I could realign to use my students' strengths to help them be successful. What I found was that for the first time in 4 years, I had 100% completion, on time, well done projects that my students were excited about and ready to share. My final artifact was the literature review completed for C&T 801 on school improvement and reform in my discipline. In this assignment, we were to do a review of literature that discussed factors that influence education reform in our discipline. This review emphasizes what I believe should be the focal points of science education reform, and it also offers solutions for obstacles that we may face on the way to change. Teacher collaboration and equity are two of the areas that I feel are vital to successful curriculum reform in science. As new standards have been adopted and implemented in science in Kansas, collaboration between teachers is more necessary than ever. As resources become available and teachers gain experience, collaboration is the way we can ensure that our students have the best learning opportunities available. Factors that influence collaboration include teacher quality, their education, their background, as well as the time that it takes in a day to collaborate with one another, to make good lessons, to plan good complex instruction projects, so that all of our students have the chance to learn. The other focus is equity. Equity in education is a touchy subject in areas. Stakeholder demands, plans for school improvement, district goals versus local goals all influence whether our education system is really truly equitable to our students. We must ensure that students have the opportunity to learn no matter what their background is or what their prior experience brings them with. Another major reason that I decided to include this literature review was because this was a very drastic point of improvement for me. The literature review process was a big challenge for me. It was something that I really struggled with at the beginning of this program. My first review took weeks. I didn't know how to navigate the KU database as quickly as I had done in my undergrad. I struggled to find relevant sources without reading the whole article first. And I struggled with bringing all of the different articles together to form a cohesive paper about what I thought, about what I took away from that research. It took a lot of practice and a lot of persistence to become proficient at these types of assignments, but I am happy to say that I am now confident in my research and review skills. These skills were used to effectively research and carry out my action research project that will be seen later in this portfolio. Overall, I feel these 3 artifacts show a broad range of skills that have influenced my teaching. One example is my views on equity. Through the completion of my philosophy of curriculum paper, I found my voice for equity in the curriculum. Our students are not just vessels to be filled. The curriculum must be flexible as our students and society changes around us. The complex instruction assignment gave me a strategy that I could immediately implement my ideas about giving students the opportunity to learn. My literature review gave me peer-reviewed research that supported and furthered the ideas that I can use to expand outside of my classroom to a district or society. It also put me in the role of some of my students that struggle in my classes, as it challenged me to do something new and different that I had never done before. With the skills that I have gathered from this program, I feel I am prepared to be a teacher leader as I continue in my career in the classroom and as a district leader in my future career goals. While ultimately my goal is to become a school or district curriculum coordinator, my immediate plan is to remain in the classroom. I would like to implement and use the strategies that I have gathered from this program before making the transition to a coach or coordinator position. I want to be able to offer first-hand experience for the instructional strategies and curriculum ideas that I have to present for the teachers I work with. This program has provided me with the research skills to do research of my own, to find out what others are doing in the field, and apply that to my classroom. It has given me an education background and theory that I can root my own practices in. It has given me improvement planning experience through Jayhawkville and through my own small improvement plan. It also has provided me a professional learning community with my cohort that has given me colleagues that I can ask and collaborate with as we are moving into this next chapter of our lives. Thank you for your expertise and your time in reviewing my portfolio.